Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and today I am in the Pilatus, not the Pilatus PC12, but the Pilatus Piper, the Pilatus Piper, the Pilatus Porter, the PC6. Now, this aircraft manufacturer was discontinued on this aircraft in 2019, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2019. But this is a fantastic STOL aircraft. It's flown a lot in countries outside of the U.S. But it is one of my favorite Bush aircraft. Now, I am in. I am near the Grand Canyon, and I am going to take a trip through the Grand Canyon and check out the canyon, check out some scenery, and land at an airport approximately 100 miles from now, 100 miles from this location. The location that I am at, let's see if I can't pull that up. So the location that I am at is Tuba City, and it's about 20 miles or so from the canyon. My plan is to fly to Grand Canyon West, which is ICAO code 1G4. And I don't have a specific route. You can see I did put a waypoint in, but I may not fly the route that I've got here. I'm probably going to follow the Colorado River and probably dip down into the canyon some. Try not to hit the walls, pop back out somewhere, and fly over the desert. Observation station is at 5,800 feet. The canyon floor is not shown, not indicated on this sectional, so I really don't know at what level the Colorado River is, but like I said, we're going to jump down in it. Okay, so let's get that out the way, and let's get in the cockpit and get started. Now, as most of you guys, let me look at my livery, make sure I got the right, yeah, I do have the right livery on. As most of you guys know, I'm not one to make short videos, and I want to go through the entire the startup. I want to use the interactive checklist to get started here. So that's going to add some time on the ground. If you want to just see me get wheels up and over the if you want to see me take off, then check the index below in the notes below. Or if you want to just see me en route in and around the canyon, then again, look for that information in the index if you don't want to watch the entire video. And of course, I end up with a landing. Hopefully I won't ground loop this bad boy. All right, so let's pull up our checklist. Checklist. And open checklist. There we go. Now these two checklists are the exact same. One is translucent and one is not. So I'm just going to pull the translucent one right here. Well, actually, well, I don't know. We'll just go with the solid one to start. Okay, flight controls unlocked. Okay, let's make sure that those are unlocked, and I think they are. Let me just give you a little bit about the checklist program. The checklist program, if there's a plus beside it and that condition is true, then it should check off automatically. So you might see some things happen real quickly, in which case I didn't do it, it just did it automatically. All right, so beacon light. Okay, beacon light and parking brake is set. Condition level is set to cut off. And speaking of condition level, let me do some housekeeping stuff. I've got some knobs on my alpha yoke that I need to take off, and actually I do need a mixture, a prop and mixture, and a throttle. So let me make sure I got the alpha yoke set up. Make sure I got the gear down, which this has fixed gear, so that really doesn't matter. Okay, battery switch can come on, and hopefully you heard my flaps. I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit. Okay, now I think that was flaps. Yep, that was flaps. So let's get the flaps all the way back up. All right, so they're electronic flaps, but that's not what I want to check. Okay, check voltage. All right, so let's go over here. All right, and check voltage. And I got about 25. That's good. And fuel system valve is open and gated. So and I'm just going to take their word for it. Okay. And fuel quantity totalizer, I need to just check it. This is my fuel quantity, and then I should have another one somewhere that shows the total fuel. Now I actually remade this checklist, and I may have not put the gauge for the totalizer in here. Oh yeah, here we go. So let's see, now this is for your pressure. Yeah, I think this is for your pressure. So I don't think I have a totalizer in here. All right, so we're just gonna move on. But it did check off automatically. But I can see what my fuel quantities in each tank are. Tanks are. All right. Engine conditions, instruments. Okay, so make sure that nothing look like it's out of whack here. That works. And oil temperature, check that it's below 140, above 140 Celsius. Well, the outside temperature is above 140. Let's see, the outside temperature is 90. Wow, it's hot in here. So let's open this door, open this window or something, and let's see if the door open. Yeah, there's some air in here, right? It's 90 degrees out there. All right. Even though here I checked off doors closed. Okay, so the instrument conditions are fine. Oil temperature check is above let's see, so I got my master on, but okay, here's oil temperature here. Well, I got a temperature here, that's yeah, this is my oil temperature here, and this is my oil pressure. Okay, I think, but anyway, we're gonna go with it unless we learn something different. All right, and it is above negative 40 degrees Celsius. All right, booster pump switch can come on. Engine starting. All right, so we're gonna turn this booster pump on and clear the prop. Make sure ain't nobody out there. All right, we're gonna latch our door. At this point, sometimes when it's dangerously hot, just do things out of order. Okay, clear prop. All right, prop area is clear. Switch this guy. Switch the starter on, and when we get above 12% NG, and our NG is here, then we'll turn the ignition on, and when the ITT is above, let's see, condition level low idle. Okay, we will turn our ignition on, and then I turn our condition level to low idle, and make sure that our ITT doesn't go over 1020. All right, so here we go. That's 12. Ignition. We got positive fuel flow. And let's go ahead and introduce fuel. We're watching this ITT here. And she's coming up. Turn my volume down a little bit. All right. So we've got a good start. We got fuel, positive fuel pressure, positive oil pressure, oil temps coming up. All right. Prop look good. All right. Starter switch can come off. And ignition switch can come off. We did check oil pressure. ITT is stabilized below 650. It's at 5. And we can go to next. And let me turn this down a little bit so that I can make sure you can hear me okay. All right. Prop lever is full forward, and well, I guess it wasn't, but she may idle up some more as that she should, as the propeller feather out. And let's turn our generator on. Check for 28 volts. Yep, got it. That looks good. Right here. All right. Positive amps. Yep, it is slightly, but it's positive. And NG check should be above 51%. NG is at 68%, looks like. Radio master can come on. And radio master is right. The landing lights. Let's see. It's been a while since I've flown this guy. It's right here. Okay. GPS is coming alive. And let's see. I got an inverter. It's on inverter 1. And so I can check that. Avionics can come on. All right, so looks like this guy is already on. Okay, and this guy can come on. And comms 1 and 2. All right. And compass switch should be synchronized. All right, so we got looks like about 30 on the compass. Or let's see, that's no, that's 30, 33 and 30. What is that? 33, and that would be what, 34, 35, 34, so just over 33. Yep, so that's looks like it's really good and synchronized. Artificial horizons look good. And we do have an up attitude on from the way the aircraft is sitting. All right. And we are almost ready to taxi. All right, let's get these passengers secured. All right, so for my weight, now, close that. All right, for my weight, I do have quite a few passengers. I got 1,092 pounds of payload, which includes 6 passengers. I'm sorry, 5 passengers and me. And I can actually adjust at least my weight now. Okay, but these are the default weights. And I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 seats, and I got 2 seats open. So I've got 2, 4, 6 souls on board. All right. Don't have any external fuel tanks installed, but I could if I wanted to. Some wing tip tanks. But for this flight, don't need them. All right. So got the passengers secured, and this aircraft does not draw passengers when you put them in the seat, but that's fine. Part of simming is using some imagination. All right, landing lights as required. All right, so let's drop these lights down. Now this is so cool. As you can see on these wings, you don't see any lights. All right, so I am going to drop this light down, and now you see this light here has come down, and that is, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's animated. I don't have a keyboard. I don't have it tied to a keyboard, so I can't see the animation. All right, so I am going to turn it on. Well, actually, I'm not going to turn it on until I get ready to take the taxi. Well, yes, I am. I'm going to turn 1 on, and that 1 light is going to serve as my taxi light. So let's turn it on. All right. No plus beside it, so that means I got to check it off manually. but for some reason it refuses to check. Let me open up the checklist again. Checklist, open checklist. Yep, now it works. Okay, so I do have to have this open to check off this one. All right, nav lights. And as required, so I just turned those on. And we're ready to taxi. All right, so let's put in our flight plan. We're going to Zulu 1, and it's going to be a VFR flight, as you already know. Get rid of this message, and let's look at the map. Let's come out, and we want it to fly up here a little bit. And if that, okay, this is the waypoint that we was going to fly to. That's, so if we edit that graphically, click on that waypoint, that ain't what we want. Undo. Want to pull that up, and now we got that waypoint in, and that kind of just give us some tracking. We won't actually fly the magenta line, but that'll keep us, make sure that we're going in the right general direction. All right, so our desired track is roughly going to be west, which is 27. So let's spin that heading bug to west. That's the compass. This is a little backwards than I'm used to. All right, and there we go. Let's get rid of this guy, and let's go to the next. All right, let's release the parking brake. Parking brake is over here. This little red thing here, and we'll push it in. All right, and is it all the way in? There we go. Parking brake is released. All right, and let's check our brakes. Brakes are working. Left and right brakes are working. So we check those off. And flight instruments. Free and correct, and a function. And let's just look at our compass, a 4-minute turn. Make sure that that's working as desired. Yep, okay. And let's go to our takeoff location. Now, this airport, I may have to get my relative winds from, may have to get them, let's see, from some other location, because I'm not going to find in the ASOS. Let's see if ASOS is, well, they may have an ASOS 124.3. All right, so let's look for that. 1, 2, 4, 3, enter. All right, and the other thing that we want to check is our CTAF, our Unicom frequency, and that's going to be 122.9. 122.9. All right, and that's 124.3. 124.3. I'm gonna flip that directly in.
Grand Canyon National Park information
Golf.
2200 solar weather. Wind 200 at 14 gust 21. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 10,000 view. Temperature 2 seconds.
Okay.
2.4.
I'm having trouble hearing it,
3026.
and so that
Departing runway 21.
that means I need to put my headset on, and that's simulated here with this button here, I think. All right, so now I can hear. Let's see what the weather is now.
Grand Canyon National Park information golf. 2200 Zulu weather. Wind 200 at 14 gust 21. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 10,000 view. Temperature 27, 2.4. Altimeter 3026. Arriving runway 21. Departing runway 21. Advise on initial contact, you have golf.
Okay, so we know that the winds at the nearest airport, which is Grand Canyon Airport, which is about 30 miles from here, is, let me turn this radio off.
National Park information
Let me just flip this.
20.
Okay, so we know that the winds are at that airport is 220 at 14, gusting to 21. So that's pretty significant. So we do want to assume that we may have similar winds here, but we may be far enough out for it really to not really be a factor, or it may be a true factor. In any case, we are going to take, we got two runways, we got 33 and 15. So 15 is going to be closest to 22, I think. Yeah. So we're going to take off on 15, which is all the way at the end of this runway, because we're going to fly back this way. So see, trim as required. Yeah. So we're going to fly back this way. So yeah, let's go ahead and make our call and take the runway. Tuba City Airport, Porter, 886, Foxtrot Whiskey, standby. Lo and behold, I forgot what my call sign is. Let's see if I can get it off the tail. 886 Whiskey Sierra. And I could describe the aircraft, but what I'd like to do is kind of get used to saying my tail number, just as practice that might help me in real life. Okay, if that time should ever materialize. All right, so that's why I always say my tail number as opposed to saying blue and silver Porter, describing the aircraft. Anyway, um, Tuba City Airport, Porter AH6 Whiskey Sierra is taxiing to runway 15, back taxiing Tuba City. Okay. And we're going to take off to the west when we do, so we'll include that information on our next call. All right, flaps to 28 degrees, and our controls are free and correct. And we do need to set our altimeter. It was 3026 at it was 3026 at Grand Canyon, but the field elevation for where we're going is 63. Let's see, runway, I know you can't see this. Okay, so runway 1533 and runway 15 elevation is 4512. So if we are at 45, then we can check it again just before we take off if we so choose. But 3026 looks to be about what the altimeter is here, so I won't have to check it. Fuel quantity looks good. Booster pump is on, heating, and PTOC switch does not, we don't need it. And we don't need a de-icer. FCU sense line heater is on, and we don't need that. So we're okay on this. Strobe lights can come on. Didn't check that off. All right, oil temperature's in the green, and instrument check again. Looking good. And tail wheel lock, good catch. Something I tend to forget, but we don't want to lock that tail wheel until we are lined up. Okay, so I am going to close this one down, and hopefully the translucent one will stay up, and it did. So we'll switch to this one. And I don't want to prop strike by jamming them brakes. Alright, nothing's coming as best I can tell. And nothing's coming this way. And we are in a tail dragger. So at least we can see down the runway enough to kind of stay on center line doing taxi. Now, what was that alarm? So that's the wind. So the winds are certainly reacting with the aircraft, and a 14 to 21 knot crosswind, it's going to be a tough, rough takeoff. So theoretically, not theoretically, but actually, what I would normally do in real life is put the turn the yoke in the direction of the wind, and the winds are coming from 220, are coming from the west, which means that we are going to have quite the headwind on this flight. So we're going to take off on 15. 15 is going to point us to the south. So that's going to be I think that's going to be a right turn out to our left. I could be wrong on that. I'm trying to see that on the trying to build a compass in my mind's eye. Man, is there a taxiway? There is a taxi. Well, guess there's a gravel taxiway that I could have used. Didn't know that. All right. Maybe not. Okay, no, that's not a gravel taxiway. Maybe. All right. One thing I did notice. Come on, come on. What's going on? One thing I did notice. Let's see. Hit this guy. There we go. Is that I did not see a run-up area, a run-up. All right, so let's get lined up, and these winds are making it a little bit tougher to line up than normally. All right. All right. So we are lined up close enough. And oh man, we got back to before takeoff. So let's open up this guy. Let's go here and get the right checklist. And don't see the right checklist. Let me close this up. Let's try it again. Checklist. Open checklist. Well, let's just move through these before, back, previous, cruise, climb, takeoff. Okay, so yeah, we were here and done that, set the altimeter, check the fuel, booster pump is on, PT and de-ice is not needed, strobe lights are on, engines, windows are closed. Let's close this guy, and we'll braid the heat for didn't mean for that to happen. But we want to close this little window here, and need to find a click spot for it. That's, see, maybe it's up here. Yeah, there it is. All right. And let's lock the tail wheel. Something that tends to bite me. And then let's check out rudders. Okay, rudders are free and correct. And tail wheel let check confirm that the aircraft rolls straight. Well, we got this wind. So that's hard to do, but it's straight enough. All right, and condition high. All right, she should wind up. And turn this up so you can hear the engines a little better. And we'll give it 47.5 on the torque. Brakes are holding. And everything looks good. All right. And flaps up. We went above 70 knots. And booster pump can come off when we in cruise. All right, so let's fight the wind with our brakes and rudders until we get some rudder authority. Our tail has come up, 60 knots, rotate, and we are wheels up. Wind is blowing us, so let's crab. Hold the center of the runway, and we're above 70 knots, so let's raise our flaps. And booster can come off. Or cooler temp should come down. It is so hot, it's taking it a minute to come down. Let's get it trimmed so we can release some back pressure. And let's turn to the west, which is that right turn that we talked about. And clear. Make sure nothing is out there. And continue that turn. Step on the ball. And we'll straighten her up. Come off the ball. All right, so we're at 6,500 feet. Took off at what was it? 45. So yeah, we can level out here. And with that headwind, and I'm waiting on the oil cooler. Is that, quite frankly, oil cooler set? And actually, that's an oil cooler set. Something I am really unfamiliar with. So or cooler, okay. Push cold, pour warm. All right, so I've got it pushed in. Pull it out and push it back in. So, and let's fly the plane, right? So let's go, let's turn it. Well, I'm not gonna, well, I want to fly by hand, but for, at least for the moment, I can turn the heading on and fly the autopilot. Okay. And that, all right. So I'm gonna check that off because the ore cooler, the ore is really hot and it's pushed in, which is as best I can go do. All right, landing lights can come off and up. Okay, ITT max is 695. It's roughly about 625 at the moment, so we can actually give it a little power, and then we'll adjust our prop. And okay, then we say this is the ore pressure and this is the ore temp. And okay, the ore temp is actually a little warm. I mean a little cool. So let's pull this out some. See if we can't raise it. And what I want this guy here to do is check off automatically, which it should once it get to 74 degrees. Let's see if we can pull it out some more. And it should be at 74. It'd be hard to imagine that this is modeled correctly when it's so hot, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna check that one off. And ITT 695 max, and I don't see anything about my prop, but I'm gonna pull my prop back just a touch. And looks like we're coming up on some canyon walls here. And instruments look good. We are in cruise. All right. So I can hide that for the moment. And I'm gonna just pull that out the way. And let's back out. Look at some desert. Now, I do remember seeing on the map that we are going to cross a small canyon before we get to the Grand Canyon. And there's a road. Now this is a small canyon, and then up here is the Grand Canyon. All right. We're 105 knots over the ground, which is roughly 115, 112, 113 miles per hour. And looks like we've got a really good crab. That's because we're flying west, but being pushed to the south. So we're having to point the nose to the north to hold that westerly track. And I am in autopilot mode right now, so I'm just keeping an eye on my I'm keeping an eye on my instruments at the moment. Getting some really good gusts here, so we may have to stay, depending on how much control we can keep over the aircraft, we may have to stay out of the canyon. Now, X-Plane really does not model the winds behavior when it goes in the canyons and whip around mountains and that kind of thing. So my guess is we have the same. Oh, excuse me. My guess is we have the same behavior in the canyon as I have here in the air. But we'll see. All right. So our fuel look good. And I'm actually flying toward Grand Canyon Airport. Kilo Golf Charlie, let's see, what was it? Canyon Yankee November. I forgot the ICOA for Grand Canyon, but I should be able to see it here. Let's see. Actually, should Kilo Golf Charlie November. So I'm actually too low to traverse some things here. So as you can see, once I cross the canyon, on the other side of the canyon, 6,500 is too low to fly this path, but the plan is to turn to the right and follow the river for a while. What I should have did was use this waypoint here, which I thought I did. Done. Okay, yeah. But I'm not flying a GPS route. And next waypoint back. Let's look at a flight plan. Probably no flight plan is active. Let's go to that one. Activate. Wrong button. Activate that leg. Okay. And let's see what the magenta line is now. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. All right. So looks like we are coming up on the main canyon. So let's get rid of that guy. And I didn't realize I was in a climb. Okay, so it's my aircraft. And welcome to the Grand Canyon, guys, on a windy day. Now, one thing to watch out for when canyon flying is for box canyons. So this waterway right here is not the way that we want to go. What we want to do is follow this river, and this is the Colorado. Let's see what happens if, well, see, 6,500. Oh, excuse me. I think it's safe. But let's drop down in it and get a feel for this canyon. What I'm doing is reducing power. And trim it out a little bit. And it looks like I've got a really good hard turn here. And let's get up out of here, guys. I am not comfortable. I am not comfortable with flying in the canyon. And which way am I going to go? I'm going to go the way that I can get out of here. Now, if you look at my GPS map, you can see that I actually am in a box canyon at this point. And I've got let's say I'm climbing as hard as I can. I don't want to stall the aircraft. Climbing at about 75 knots. And I think I can make it up and out of here. Now, if I had a aspirated engine, I would not have gotten out of here. And I don't think I would have been able to turn around. So, in case you hadn't noticed, I am completely headed in the wrong direction. The other thing that I got to be really careful about with this aircraft is not to firewall the turbines, or else I can blow the shaft right out of it. And when I found myself trying to climb up out of the canyon, that was the first thing that I wanted to do was firewall the turbines, and this doesn't have a governor on it. All right, so we are out of the canyon, at least above it. Now, there is an aircraft that I can fly through the canyon, the Carbon Cub, and it's agile enough for me to make those turns without risking flying into the canyon wall. Um, I'm finding this aircraft just not agile enough for that. So while I can get into the canyon, I'm going to need to stay relatively high in it. And what I'm not sure of is, okay, yeah, I got my eye on the map. And if I look at the map, look like let's see, am I in the main canyon? Ah, no wonder, guys. I don't think I'm even in the main canyon yet. Oh, yes, I was. Look how wide this was. Well, I'm not sure. Let's give her some power. Get rid of this map so we can see what we're doing. Back out our view. All right. So, how awesome would it be if people could fly into the canyon like this in real life? I don't think that actually in reality that might not be so awesome at all. Um, because the canyon may be littered with daredevils who thought they could take it on. Yep, I'm gonna go to the let's see, looks like I'm going to the south, and I need to navigate, watch where I'm going. I either get high enough. Where's my magenta line? That should, yeah, see, all right, let's just go over land for a while. So, what I am going to do is fly over these hills, these mountains, and I suspect 95, well, 85 may get me above them, okay. If not, then we'll do 10-5. All right, so let's get a climb going on. And we're at roughly 500 feet a minute. There we go. Now we're picking up some climb power. And I trade off of speed. Get up here and we really feel those winds. And let's go ahead and turn back to the west. Looks like my red on my GPS map is really disappearing. Still got a significant area of red, but it's getting smaller with each knot. The Porter, I've always considered this to be a really incredible aircraft. It's the way it looked, people either love it or hate it. And quite frankly, I think it's an attractive aircraft. But that's just one man's opinion. And it was, I think Pilatus considered it a fairly successful aircraft, but they wanted to concentrate on opening new markets with the PC-24, which is a light corporate jet, and I'm sure they have more demand for a corporate jet and a lot more margin for a corporate jet than for backcountry bush type aircraft. All right, so we're going to do 10, 5. We're at 9.5 now, so we got 1,000 to go. And let's jump into the cruise control. Let's see, so let's go here, and we got GPS. Yep, so that looks good, so we can close that up, and let's hit nav, and we should turn towards our magenta line and fly it. All right, so we are approaching the canyon again after crossing a horseshoe type scenario. And let's see, so you can see how the canyon dipped around to the south. And swung back up to the north to meet us. All right. And let's take a look down. Geological wonder, right? Look out the other wonder. A little cooler up here. 65 degrees. All right, my aircraft. And the next one we will probably out to to fly something that would allow us to really get down there and get our tires wet in that water, which technically in X-plane you don't want to do. I don't know if touching water in X-plane with something like a carbon cub, some sort of cub, would cause it to crash, cause the airplane to crash. Okay, so let's see how far we get. So we still got 12 miles to this waypoint, and then after we get to that waypoint, we got let's see what the distance from here to here is. Well, the distance to where we are now to our final destination is 42 nautical miles. So we still got a little bit ways to go at our speed. And I am hand flying it. Looks like the winds are not as strong on in this location as they were in the other location. I'm at 10,000. And so I really bought the prop back, and it's not feathering out to give me more speed. Let's move it a little bit forward. And this aircraft, really and truthfully, is not built for speed so much as for its stow. It's a powerful aircraft. It's got that Pratt & Whitney PT6 engine in it. The same family of engines that's in the PC-12, but a lot less powerful, and I think it's got more torque. Well, I don't know about the torque. But it is a much smaller PC-12, much smaller Pratt & Whitney version of the engine that's found in the PC-12. They measure them in shaft horsepower, and quite frankly, I don't know what the shaft horsepower is for this one. It is on a Wikipedia page. Let's see if I can't find it for you. Well, that's not really, let's see, I'm not sure that's really going to help because I don't know. Okay. The PT6 has the Pratt & Whitney, I just saw it here, the PC6 has the Pratt & the the Pratt and Whitney PT6A-27. A little bit of trivia for you. And the PC6A-27, the PT6A, let's see what we can find out. This one is a single, let's see, I think this one is a single stage engine. No, I'm sorry, no, that's not the right, that's the PT6. Shucks, lost my place. I think that's the PT6D, that's the single stage. Okay, I'm down 1,000 feet. Try to get my 1,000 feet back. And shy off to the south a little bit. The PT6A you find on a lot of twins, like the King Air 250 and the Beechcraft. Looks like it has anywhere from 700, from anywhere from, say, from 525 shaft horsepower all the way up to, I think, over 900 shaft horsepower, or at least 867 shaft horsepower, 850. Well, the PT6A 45 has 1020 shaft horsepower. I wonder, I don't know whether they bear any resemblance to each other in terms of in real terms. Like, for instance, could the PT6, I'm turning the wrong way, could the PT6 A be a complete, could the PT6A, say, -40, be a completely different engine with completely different tooling from the PT6A-60? You know, that's a question I don't know the answer to. If I think of auto manufacturers, a 440 back in the day muscle engine is completely different from, say, a 327 by the same manufacturer. I mean, we would consider them different engines, and so I'm wondering if the PT6s are like that. Then they got different variants, like the PT6A, and then the the PT6B, C, and so forth and so on. All right. So one of the things I've always said that in well, I'm only 30 miles from my destination now, so I'm not going to go back up to 10. Um, Unless I level out at the 9500. Even though that's not the proper altitude, that's not the appropriate altitude to be flying westerly at. Um, oh, excuse me. I got a case of the yarns tonight. Anyway, enough about the engines. But I thought it was interesting to just think about those things. The Pilatus PC12 uses the PT6E as an echo. Now, since this is ortho, those shadows that you see in that canyon are baked in. So even if the sun was directly in front of us, which it looked like it might very well be, then obviously those shadows shouldn't be there. It looked like it may be behind some cirrus clouds up there. Let's yep. So the shadows, the shadow technically should be on this side of the hill, but since since this is ortho, then like I said, the shadows are baked in to the ortho. But what that does, oh, got yours. What that does tell us is this is a fairly true rendition of what the canyon actually looks like in real life. This is satellite imagery of it. Oh, excuse me. So, do I have a clock in here? I don't think I do. Oh, there it is. Clock's right here. So according to this clock, it's just 10 minutes to 5, almost 10 minutes to 5, 9:47. And now I'm looking for that point that I was going to fly to. Let's see, so if I point my nose in the right direction, let's try to fly between this low point right here. Let's see what that looked like. That might do it. So this is what we're going to fly to find our airport. And I'm back up to 9,500. trim it down just a touch. Sensitive on the trim on this bird. Oh man, got the case of the yawns. So that slip was me messing with the trims. Okay, so I am going to adjust my head and my fly to point. Well, I guess I'm good flying to the point that I want to fly to. And I'm 18 miles out, so I guess I can start getting down. Let's see what the airport elevation is. So we can check right here. Airport elevation is 4,100 feet. Runway is 16 and 34. Alright, so assuming that the winds are still 220, then I guess we want 16. Okay, so let's plan for 16. And let's arrest this descent a little bit. And so I've got these hills here, and once I get over those hills, then I should see the airport maybe in a valley. And if I'm landing on 16, then I need to fly up towards the north and come back. All right, so we got that figured out. So I'm thinking that the airport ought to be just on the other side of this plateau. And now that I've gotten down a little bit, the winds are really whipping me around. So if it's at 41 and I'm at 75, then I'm fairly high. $13 miles out. And let's go ahead on and turn to the north here, and we'll come down this valley. Let's see what my speed over the ground is, 108 knots. And looks like there may be a little river road. Or dry wash, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it's the river. Yep. Oh no, that's, let's see. No, that's a dude. Not sure what it is. Saw that blue line there, and from far out, looked like, oh, that's a waterway. All right. So 51 would be pattern. .11 nautical miles, and the airport ought to be down in this valley. The winds are really kicking me around. And let's double check that it's going to be down in the valley. Or I'm actually in the wrong valley, so I can fly around this way. Or I can get up and go over. Let's see, looks like I'm in the wrong valley here. I need to be in this valley, and I'm in this valley. So let's see if I can climb out of here. Don't want to over torque this bad boy. I'll climb out at about 80 knots. That should get me a good climb profile. Alright, so let's level off here. 85. What I am missing with this ortho is structures. Even though, well, I think maybe there may, let's see, no, I'm not seeing any real structures, and I feel like I should. All right, so let me fly into the valley to the north. Okay, now that would be a structure, and let's see if we can slip through right here. And the reason I'm looking for structures is because the autogen may be covering what the ortho might show as a structure. In fact, the autogen may actually be greening up the area a lot more greener than it is in real life. I'm headed way too far north. Okay. Okay, so go around and catch this valley, or maybe I should. And this ought to be the valley hill, so I should be able to fly down this guy to the left towards the airport. At least that's the plan. And you have a little tailwind, 120 knots indicated, 110 indicated, 125 over the ground, and 110 indicated. So the winds may have shifted. Let's see what Ada say for let's see, maybe we can fly over the field and take a peek at the windsock. That's always an option if the windsock exists. Okay. And this is Grand Canyon West that I'm headed to. .42 is ASOS. So let's see if we got anything on there. 11942. Transfer that in. Nada. It's not modeled for this airport. Plenty of fuel. All right. And I might even be able to see the airport. Not yet. All right. Okay. And let's back out a little bit. And we'll make this turn towards the airport and line up for 15 straight in. Grand Canyon West, Pilatus Porter 886 Whiskey Sierra is 7 miles to the north inbound for runway 15 full stop, Grand Canyon West. All right, so let's get down. here out. And being able to scope an airport from 7 miles may be a little harder than you think. And all right, glumps, gas, lights, undercarriage, mixture prop, and let's drop this light down. Now, since I don't know what my altimeter is, I may be a little bit lower than I think. So let's keep that in mind, because I was unable to get a ASOS. And we are looking for the strip, the field, and we got it in sight. All right. So I think this is the field right here. Yep. I want to throw in flaps as quickly as I can. Alright. And flap range just barely out of it, but I decided to take it. And bring it on in. Alright, tail wheels locked. I forgot my checklist, but I did do a glump, so that's going to have to suffice. Of course, I could do a go around. Got a crosswind here. Might have to do a go around that though. Didn't like that bounce. Build up some speed here and turn around. Let's do left traffic, and so I guess this will put us on crosswind. Grand Canyon West, Porter 68 Whiskey Foxtrot is turning downwind for runway 15, Grand Canyon West. Might have been right traffic, given that this has this hill. Okay, I can get over it okay. Come back in again. Landing lights are still on. Alright. So, altimeter set, check. Can't do that. Sufficient fuel. Boost pump is on. Condition. Flaps as required. Got that in mind. Alright. Landing lights are down and on. Tailwind is locked. So, yeah, we were... balk landing. I guess I did balk it. Alright. And so let's go back previous. And let's go ahead and turn towards the runway. And align the head and bug up with 15. And whoa, how did we get up to 6,000? Yeah, we're up way too high to come in. I don't know how we got all the way up to 6,000, but so we're gonna do a 360, and it's and get rid of some of this altitude. And so that put us back on downwind away from the airport. And get rid of some of this altitude. Get far enough out so we can make a stable approach. So we will turn to the widest side. Alright, see the runway over there. Let's see what our altitude is doing. Right. Go ahead and throw in those 28 degrees of flaps. Oh, they were, yeah, 28 degrees of flaps. For a second there, I was about to say they were already in. All right, 60 knots. Remember, she's a tail driver. Don't loop, baby. There we go. these trims. And condition can come to low idle. There are no buildings out here. And now see, this makes me wonder if this is indeed ortho, because the ortho should have the buildings embedded. I don't see them, so I might need to recheck my ortho. Okay, stable lock, that's done. Condition to low idle, that's done. Tail wheel is, I can unlock it at this point, and slow enough. That give me some taxi control. Flaps can come up. And heater can go off. And the winds are pretty gusty. Should be in beta. All right. So let's go over here and park somewhere. So I enjoyed this flight. It was a long one, but anything worth doing is worth taking the time to do. Okay, so we'll park right here. And tail wheel control lock is checked, I think. Yep. And power retard to stop. Parking brake can get set. I think this it said okay, idle stop, so that should have went right there. All right, parking brake set. Radio master can go off. Radio master wrong. All right, landing lights off, and get them raised. And I did shut my gas off. Okay, cabin fans off, props lever can go to feather, and I can't feather them with the engine off. Booster pump can go off, nav lights can go off, and battery main can go off. And I didn't see what said turn off the avionics, but I'm switching them off. All right, and let's secure stuff. Okay, so let's put the tie downs on it and covers. All right, so that's done, and that's done. All right, and that concludes our flight in and over the Grand Canyon. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. And until next time.
Y'all come back now. Cheers.